Hello and welcome to the first episode of Does My Brexit Look Shit in This? Today we're going to talk about food, because I like food. I think most people like food. They like going to the supermarket and there being food there. And this is something that I don't think we've really been talking about too much, is the fact that we don't have the food security that we enjoy anymore, or we won't have as soon as we leave the European Union. Now, the reason for this is for three big reasons. We're in a lot of trouble. Okay, first of all, Britain doesn't make enough food to feed all the people in Britain. I know this might seem like a crazy thing to say and to put out there, but it's true. We import more food than we make ourselves because we don't make enough food, because there's lots of people on this little island and there's not enough room to make the food that we need. So we import it, okay, right? That's the first thing you got to understand. We import the food. Okay, so here's a big problem that we're going to face if we crash out without a deal. Even if we get a deal, we're probably going to face the same problem, because if we leave the customs union, then we are going to be stopping the food coming into our country, because it'll get stopped at customs and at the ports, things like that. A huge amount of disruption is going to result, and this has been admitted to even by Philip Hammond. It's been admitted to by Amber Rudd. It's been admitted to by a lot of the Tory people who are sort of, I don't know, thinking, what are we doing here? It's a bit mad. Why are we stopping food coming into our country? That's like the maddest thing we could possibly do, because if people are hungry, they might, I don't know, go out and riot and, like, I don't know, resort to cannibalism. I don't know. I've never lived in a country that's run out of food before, so I don't know. It might be interesting, but it's certainly a very scary prospect. But okay, yes, most of the food will get through, and it won't all rot at the ports, hopefully. And then we've got this other problem of the costs of not being part of the customs union. We're going to have to pay tariffs, and so all of our food is going to go up in price. All of it, even the stuff we make in the UK, is going to go up in price, and I'll tell you why. The second thing is subsidies are going to be stopped in 2020. The government have all but admitted this. Subsidies to farmers are not just given to farmers for leaving fields fallow so wildflowers can grow and wildlife can run around in the hedgerows feeling great. No, a lot of the money is because there's a lot of crops that don't make any money. Like cereal crops, like wheat and things like that, and barley and stuff that goes into like bread and beer and stuff like that. If you're a farmer, you'd be lucky to make a couple of grand a year making these staple crops. Potatoes, don't bloody make much money compared with, I don't know, coriander, saffron, something else you could grow a lot more, easily. But we can't really eat that. We can only sort of, put it on our food as garnish. It'll make a lot of money for British farmers selling that stuff abroad. It'll be good for our exports, but it won't be so good for our food security in the UK. And so what are we going to do? We can either pay the farmers this money that the EU currently pays them, or we can revert to a system where we have to buy all of our staple products from the EU. And again, going back to point one, that's going to be a bit of a nightmare, because we're going to have to pay more than everybody else in the EU for this exactly the same product. So your food shop is going to go up by at least 50% a week. 50% it's going to cost you more. So if you spend £100 a week on food at the moment and you're just about managing, you're going to be spending £150 in 2 years' time. The third problem is the people working in the farms, because a lot of people who work in farms around the country are actually from the EU. And they're leaving in droves because we're told them to fuck off. What do you expect them to do? Stay here and go, oh yeah, great, I love the way you're all mean to me. I'll stay here forever picking your fruit. No, even if we were being horrible to them, which we are, but the economy was doing all right, that the pound was still buoyant, then they might stay just for economic reasons. But you'll now earn more money picking fruit in Italy or Spain than you would in the UK. So people aren't coming over. This is the first proper post-Brexit vote harvest that we've had, and a lot of food is just dying on the vine, in the ground. It's not being picked, and we've only got one more harvest before we leave. And we had to long-term plan this stuff. At the moment, we don't pay for things up front. We pay for them after they arrive into the country. It's part of one of the perks of being in a customs union. But that's going to be taken away from us as well. So we're going to have to sort of, I don't know, conjure up hundreds of billions of pounds. And I know it fries your mind when I use words like billions. I know it doesn't mean anything to you. But just have a look up at the stars on a clear night and know that there's only a few thousand stars that you can really see realistically from Britain on a clear night. Yeah, 1 billion is a lot more than that, okay? And then 100 billion is a lot more than that. So whether it's the food that we're bringing in, the food that we're making ourselves, the food that we're not getting picked, we're facing a huge food crisis. And this has happened before. This has happened before in Venezuela, where they decided that the economy collapsed, and they said, oh, well, what we'll do is we'll ban people from using US dollars, and that'll keep people using our economy, our currency, the Bolivia, I think it is. Great. But hang on. Other people from other countries don't want your worthless currency, so we can't buy anything from another country. Yeah. Okay, but then that means all the supermarkets are going to be empty because most of our products come in from abroad. Yeah. How is this helping? I don't know. Anyway, so that's the end of this little video. Just me saying food security. We're in a bit of trouble. And yeah, all I can say is, does my Brexit look shit in this? And the answer is yes.